It's Jen on the go. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to get your healthy eating on today. It's completely unrehearsed, unscripted, straight from God to my brain, to my mouth, or whatever you believe in, maybe just my brain. Anyway, so we're going to show you something you could eat for a weird breakfast, or a lunch, or a dinner. Now, I was told to give you a breakfast meal. That's what my producer for the show told me to do. But the truth is, I don't really eat breakfast. I haven't really eaten breakfast much, maybe once or twice or 3 times a year in the last 10 years. Why? Intermittent fasting. So that's a huge topic. Today's topic is how to make this meal. I'm going to show you how to do it in a very unconventional way, because I'm all about what's the quickest way to get the most nutrients into your body. So intermittent fasting, we can look this up, but I recommend a 13 to a 16 hour fast. Let your organs rest, give your body a chance to recuperate. Don't always be digesting, because generally we're either detoxing or we're digesting our food. So I like to give my body more time to detox and more time to possibly burn fat, so I can have some nice cheekbones and collarbones and fit into my clothes. Anyway, let's do the recipe. Ready? Shall we? So we have 3 onions, okay, and 1 big beefsteak tomato, zucchini, which I ate part of it already, and the tools, garlic mincer, you can also do it by hand, and we have a slicer and a cutting board, or you can use a plate or whatever you have. Definitely don't cut on granite or marble. And then your pan and your stovetop. So if you like this recipe, what I often do is I'll make 2 or 3 times this amount. So this is a good amount to start with. Why this recipe? Lots of fiber, lots of nutrients, different colors. It's going to have some raw food, which is going to have some enzymes. Onions, great for your immune system. Good to have food with allicin, some sulfur-based foods. The lycopene for the skin. We're going to have some minerals from sea salt and Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt and sea salt have different types of minerals. Our body needs minerals. And we're going to have nutritional yeast, B vitamins. All the ingredients are going to be written below. So if you didn't follow it here and you didn't write it down, don't worry about it. I have everything in writing always. All right, so these 3 onions are going to get cut into little pieces. We'll come back. I'm going to cut them. And then we're going to add these onions right to the pan. All right, so this low-carb recipe has 3 medium onions, which I cut haphazardly into little pieces. Oops, I dropped one. Haphazardly, just like this. Now I'm going to add this to the pan. The pan, I already put in enough filtered water to coat the pan. So instead of coating the pan in oil, I'm coating the pan in water. I'm going to do water sauteing. So now the pan is just coated. There's not tons and tons and tons of water, because then I'd be boiling it. So we add on, get the water hot. Maybe we're boiling the water ahead of time. I'm going to put power 7 out of 10. I'm going to add all the onions to this, and I'm going to water saute this for about 2 to 4 minutes. All right? So what I do is I wait till the onions are pearled, which means I wait till the onions are see-through, aka pearled, and that's when I know that they're done. Oops. All right, here we go. So now I would have a cover that fits, but we're on the go. So we're going to do this cover. Doesn't fit, but it actually works really well. All right, next. So while the onions are water sauteing for 2 to 4 minutes, we're going to take 4 garlic cloves. We're going to mince them up. I'm going to add these at the end because I like to keep the garlic raw. We want to keep the enzymes intact. Whenever we cook something at really high temperatures, we're destroying it. We don't want to eat food that's destroyed. We want to eat food that's as fresh as possible and raw. And this, the zucchini, we can do this now too. We're going to slice this into little shreds. You can see here. I'll do one for the camera. See that? All right, so that's going to go here. And once the onions are done, we add the slices of zucchini. We add that right to the pan. Also going to add that tomato. And we're going to mix all together. So the zucchini and the tomato and the garlic, it's all pretty raw. We're only going to heat this up. So when I add that to the onions, it just becomes heated. It doesn't become cooked and denatured and destroyed. And then, if you like, you could add half an avocado or an avocado, and we're going to add just a dosing, a dusting. Think of dusting your food with nutritional yeast, which is basically a vitamin B supplement. So instead of taking vitamin C, or maybe in addition to taking vitamin B, you'll have the nutritional yeast. It's getting the end of the day. And then we're going to add the salt on top. We're going to make it nice and salty. I love salty food. If you're not eating processed food, you generally don't have to worry about salt. A lot of people talk about avoiding sodium from chips and crackers, but if you're not eating preservative-filled and processed chips and crackers, you can add healthy salt to your food and actually get mineral dose. It can actually be good for you. So, we'll be back. Almost done. So, I turned that zucchini into like a zucchini fettuccine with the peeler and the slicer. The tomatoes diced. And we got the garlic minced. We'll just mince the rest of it. Mince! Alright, so now the onions are pearled. I don't usually cook for an audience. It still takes a little bit of getting the hang of. See that? The onions are almost clear. They're almost pearled. I'm going to let them cook another 30 seconds, maybe another minute. Let's do that. Let's get them cooked a little bit more. So really, in this recipe, the only thing that's really cooked is the onions. Now, you might think this is not really an on-the-go recipe, Jen. This is not something you can just whip up. But you see how much I'm making? This could be enough for anywhere between 1 to 3 days. So now if you really like this recipe, you try it out, you like it, next time maybe use 5 to 7 onions. Maybe use 2 or 3 zucchinis, 2 or 3 beefsteak tomatoes. Double or triple the recipe, and you can make enough for about 3 days, 3.5 days. And then every single time you're packing your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner for work, you just put a bunch of this stuff in a to-go container, and you heat it up when you get to work. Or gigantic thermos, huge. I brought this when I was hosting a film festival. I packed a whole bunch of rice and potatoes because I eat rice and potatoes to go to sleep. Another thermos. This is not sponsored by Thermos. I wish it was. I don't know what brand this is. Bold Steel. I got this on Amazon. And this will keep your food hot basically all day. Unless the temperature is maybe under 20 degrees, it seems like these will get a little cold. Then summer, this stuff stays hot all day. It's amazing. All right, let's add these babies to the onions. The onions are basically done. All right, let's see if I can do this without dropping it. I'm always dropping stuff. So remember, this can be an on-the-go recipe. If you make it on, say, Sunday night, you can use it Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and now you're prepared for 3 days. So you gotta just do your meal prep just once or twice a week. Bear with me. Now, I'm gonna have some now. So if you're gonna have some right away, and you're not just packing it, the onions and the water is warm, obviously, and you'll just use that heat to warm up the zucchini and the tomatoes. So I'm going to mix this all together. And now it's warmed, but it's still raw. So you're kind of like on a raw food diet. And there's so many benefits to a raw food diet. I find that it gives me a lot more vitality and vigor. I'm going to add lots of sea salt. This is the coarse sea salt. So for flavor, I love salty flavor. I do tons and tons of salt that's coarse, and it's fine. I like both textures. Love that. That's a lot of salt. And nutritional yeast, that vitamin B. Boom, boom, boom. I put some on the cap, because remember, this is all about on the go, how to do things fast. If this was a gourmet cooking show, I'd be taking a tablespoon, I'd be taking a spoon, a very fancy spoon, but I'm just going to put this on the lid, because we got to go. And we're going to put some here. We got to coat this. So nutritional yeast in a lot of vegan recipes, I'm not vegan, I don't like labels, it's what gives the food a cheesy flavor. Now, if you want some extra bonus points, I wouldn't recommend mixing this in, but you can put this on top, maybe dice it up in little pieces and put this avocado on top. Boom. I just decided I'm not going to use it, but you can use it. It's very important to add fats to your diet because the fats helps the vitamin A, E, D, and K to absorb, and a lot of other nutrients that are fat soluble. You're only going to assimilate and digest and absorb those nutrients if you got some fat in your system. Alright, baby, so let me just show you what this looks like. It's the onion, zucchini, tomato, garlic mixed in with nutritional yeast and salt. I usually add a marinara or a vodka or a fra diavolo sauce, but my boyfriend ate all the sauce. So I guess that's what I get for my 1 year anniversary. No sauce. No sauce for my cooking video. And maybe the moral of the story is stay single and you'll keep all the sauce for yourself. No, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And side note, to give you a preview of what I'm going to do for myself, I'm making some rice. I always keep rice on hand because rice, according to me, and according to studies, helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. I find I get a deeper, more cozy sleep when I have just a little rice 4 to about 1 hour before bed, or even 20 minutes in an emergency. So if you find yourself laying in bed and you're tossing and turning, you might want to try having a little bit of rice, maybe a quarter of a cup, a half a cup. Sometimes I'll do a cup. If all I'm eating all day is stuff like this, zucchini, a little bit of apple, a little bit of yam, not much processed carbs, a little bit of rice works, and you can still maintain your figure and not put on too much weight. But if you're eating a lot of carbs during the day, I don't know if you're going to want to be slamming rice before bed. Now, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Very nutritious. All the ingredients are listed in the comments. And remember, if you cook in bulk, then you can have enough food for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I make enough food and I freeze it. So to make things go faster in your life so you don't spend all your life in the kitchen, I would say always make sure you're cooking tons of meals at once. Never just go in the kitchen and do anything that's elaborate and make just one serving. Because otherwise you have to cook every single meal and you spend your whole life in the kitchen. And life is meant to be lived. It's not meant to be hanging out in your kitchen. Unless that's how you want to... We gotta go. I just cut myself off in the middle of segments because we gotta go. We are Gapo. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, fiber all the time. Try to get at least 35 grams of fiber in your diet for the average person. Lots of liquids. Minerals for maybe sea salt. Mineral salts. Garlic is great. I try to do garlic at least twice a week. 3 cloves twice a week. Not every day. Not every day because it actually stimulates your nervous system and it heats you up. But once or twice a week is good to kill off bacteria and fungus and viruses, antiviral. And also when you have garlic in your hands, don't run your hands through your hair because you're going to get garlic in your hair. So thank you for tuning into this episode. We'll see you again next time. Maybe. Maybe. That was a little awkward, so I didn't want to say goodbye in such an awkward way because it would be such a shame if people thought I was weird. I think everyone thinks I'm weird. So, anyway, we're going to say goodbye. If you want this food to stay hot, try getting one of these containers or any brand. Insulate container also helps to keep things cool as well. Then you don't have to heat things up when you get to work because one way I found to cut down on time is instead of keeping my things in a Tupperware or in a container and letting it get cold, and then having to use the microwave, which is not great for you, or the toaster and spend more time to heat up my food, I just keep things hot all day, and when it's time to eat, boom, baby, boom. Thank you for tuning into this episode. There's going to be so many ways to up your creativity, up your health, keep your figure, lose body fat, maybe put on body fat for some of you. Sometimes we want to put on some weight. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon? Maybe?